Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack the most compelling insights from your sources, getting you informed fast. Today, we're looking at a really fascinating review. It's for a book called The Cure for Death by Lightning. Sounds intriguing already. And this isn't just, any review. It flags the book right away as masterful and haunting. So our mission here is to explore why this review paints such a compelling picture. It seems to be this mix, a coming-of-age story, but with magical realism.
That touch of the fantastical in a real setting.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And also it's a psychological thriller element, all set in isolated rural British Columbia during World War II. Quite specific.
It is. And we're going to try and unpack the layers the review points to, the atmosphere, character depth, the themes that resonate. The goal is really to help you understand the core insights from this review, what makes the novel stand out according to the reviewer, beyond just a plot summary.
Yeah, that phrase, masterful and haunting, definitely sticks with you. So let's start where the review does, the setting and atmosphere. It mentions isolated rural British Columbia during the Second World War. And it says the natural world is almost like a character itself.
A powerful one, yeah.
And the review stresses this idea that the setting feels both protective and dangerous, that duality. What does that signal to you straight off?
Well, that duality is, I think, really key. It means the environment isn't just wallpaper, It's active. It probably mirrors the internal stuff the characters are dealing with. So it sets up this tension right away. It's not going to be a comfortable journey.
Okay, so an uneasy feeling for the start.
Definitely. And within that, the narrative voice is crucial. The story is told by a young girl, Beth. Her voice is called authentic and compelling, and she sees things with a child's innocent curiosity.
Oh.
But also, crucially, with a growing awareness of the dark secrets around her, in her family, the community.
So we see this world protective and dangerous through her eyes as she starts to understand more.
Precisely. You get both the beauty and the menace filtered through this evolving young perspective. It's a clever way to handle that duality.
That makes sense. It grounds the atmosphere and character. Now, you mentioned the genre blend earlier, and the review really dives into this. Coming of age, magical realism, psychological thriller. That's quite a mix.
It is. It sounds ambitious.
Yeah. Does the review give us any hints about how the author, Gail Anderson-Dargatz, manages to weave these together so they work without feeling, forced?
It seems to suggest the connection point is Beth herself. It talks about unsettling events that happen, and they're driven by her trying to make sense of the strange and sometimes violent behavior of the adults, especially her father, who's described as unpredictable.
So the external weirdness, the magical stuff maybe, and the thriller tension, it all stems from her internal journey of trying to understand.
Exactly. Her coming of age is grappling with these unsettling things. The psychological tension comes from her trying to comprehend a world that doesn't always follow logical rules, so the magical realism feels less like a gimmick and more like part of her reality or her perception of it.
That ties it together nicely.
Yeah.
And speaking of things that don't follow logic, the title, The Cure for Death by Lightning, sounds like folklore, like part of that magical realism. The review calls it a powerful and recurring metaphor. How does that work?
Well, it's not just a quirky title. The review frames it as a metaphor for how the characters try to, control things, to heal from unpredictable forces.
Like lightning is the sudden, random, maybe traumatic stuff that hits their lives.
Exactly. Trauma, violence, secrets erupting, uncontrollable things. And the cure represents their attempts, maybe desperate, maybe superstitious, to find some control, some understanding, some healing when faced with that chaos.
Okay, wow.
It really underlines the psychological weight, doesn't it? The constant threat of something irrational and dangerous ties right into the thriller aspect.
It really does. Deepens it considerably. Now, the review also praises the writing itself, the prose style. Anderson-Dargatz's prose is described as sharp and beautiful as the wild landscape, filled with stark realities of farm life, but also whispers of ancient folklore.
That contrast again.
Yeah. What makes it beautiful, according to the review, is it just the descriptions or something more?
I think it's that blend the review highlights, the stark realities, so probably very grounded, maybe gritty descriptions of farm life, the hard work, the difficulties.
Right, the unvarnished truth.
Exactly. But then juxtaposed with these whispers of ancient folklore, which suggests a more lyrical, perhaps mythic quality. It hints at something deeper, older, under the surface.
So it finds beauty in both the harsh reality and the hint of magic.
Seems like it. And the review says the characters are shown with unflinching honesty, rich and complex, flaws and strengths exposed. That honesty, that rawness, probably makes the moments of folklore or magic feel even more striking against that backdrop. It's not sentimental.
That makes sense. The contrast elevates both sides. And this brings us to the themes, right? The review mentions big ones: identity, family secrets, the blurred line between reality and superstition. Even though it's set in such a specific time and place, how do these themes become universal? How do they resonate beyond that setting?
Well, that's the mark of really resonant storytelling, isn't it? While the details are specific, the time, the place, the folklore, the underlying questions are things everyone grapples with. Who am I? What secrets does my family hold? What's real? And what do I just believe is real, maybe because I need to?
Those are definitely universal struggles.
Yeah, so the novel uses its unique setting not just as a backdrop, but as a specific lens to explore these timeless human questions in a way that feels fresh and powerful. It connects, regardless of your own background.
So, wrapping this up for the listener, why pay attention to this book based on what this review is telling us? It sounds like more than just a good story.
Absolutely. The review calls it a powerful and unforgettable read, and it specifies who might appreciate it. Someone who likes stories that are lyrical as it is suspenseful and grounded in reality as it is infused with a touch of magic.
A bit of everything, but woven together skillfully.
It sounds like it. It promises something that engages you emotionally and intellectually, lingers after you finish.
Okay, so let's quickly summarize the key takeaways from this review of The Cure for Death by Lightning. We've got this unique blend of genres: coming of age, magical realism, psychological thriller.
All anchored by the incredibly evocative setting, rural BC during the war, which acts almost like its own character.
Right, and seen through the authentic voice of young Beth as she navigates it all.
And then there's that central metaphor, the cure for death by lightning, representing that deep human need to find control or healing amidst chaos.
A really powerful core idea.
Definitely. And, you know, the novel explores characters searching for that cure for the unpredictable lightning striking their lives, those overwhelming forces. So maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to take away is, what are the unpredictable forces the lightning strikes in your own life, things you might seek a cure for? And how can stories like this one perhaps help us understand our own ways of trying to find healing or order or just make sense of the chaos? Something to think about.